from Northern California. She's going to lay it down. Our candidate for controller of California. Thank you.
What I'm going to talk about is money, corporations, and women. And so the money. First, what I'm also going to talk about a woman right away also is that Ellen Brown and I'm Laura Wells, and we have this vision of the two of us women running for the money positions in the state of California and fixing the budget. Figuring it out. Yes. Ellen Brown really wanted to be here today, and she showed me an email that her physician had sent to her. She's recently had hip surgery, and the physician, I think that email scared me more than it scared her, because she was still willing to come, and I was like, no, she's supposed to be off her feet for like 8 weeks. And so, but she goes all around the world and all around the country talking about what? State banks, public banks, where we own the money. The money is ours. And when we have a state bank for California, and I'll tell you, in just the last couple of years, 20 states in the entire in the country are working on it in some way or other, at the municipal level, for cities, for counties, and for states. People are working at it. They're coming into the roadblocks. They're coming into the roadblocks that are set up by the Titanic parties, and then they go, okay, what do we do next? What do we do next? What do we do next? There are people roll. And I want to say how this affects it affects everything else. The social justice. It affects the prisons versus the schools. It affects all the stuff. The way I think of it is that the Titanic parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, can go blah, 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 blah. They can talk about anything. They can say they're for anything. But when the money is off, it's all off. And I live in Oakland. My congressperson is Barbara Lee. Okay, she can vote the right way about whether or not to go to war, but she votes for the budgets. She votes for the budgets that go for those, and she gets money from Lockheed. So let me go to the next thing. That's money. Let's talk about corporations. One of the things I love about the Green Party is that candidates do not take corporate campaign contributions. And can I get a hurrah? Because the distinguishing factor between what a person will say when they're campaigning and what a person will do when they get in office, the difference between their talk and their walk that you can tell during the campaign is, do they take corporate campaign contributions? So they can be very good. They can be very progressive. Look at the Progressive Caucus in Washington. Look at the progressives. The Democrats currently in Sacramento have 2/3 majority. They've been blaming the Republicans for all these years because they only had 66% and not 66 2/3. And now they've got 66 2/3, and they aren't doing. What are they doing? I was going to say whatever, but I'm not going to. They're not doing that. And so, but what we need to do is just draw that line and say, I'm not going to vote for them anymore. I'm not voting for anybody that takes corporate money. Vote, yes, vote, but not for that. So the difference, the reason voting hasn't been working is that we've been voting for people who talk one way and walk another. And so it's like, yes, vote. Don't vote in every race, because not every race will have a candidate that's not taking corporate money. But you can be sure about it with Greens. We're leading the way, and there are some others now that are starting to do the same thing. I live in Oakland, as I said, which is close to Richmond, California. Richmond, I'll tell you my favorite thing that happened in Richmond, and Gail McLaughlin is the mayor, yes! And she's the Richmond is the biggest city in the country that has a green mayor. Occupy Education was doing a 99-mile march from the Bay Area to Sacramento in March, and they came up through Richmond, and they're going, oh God, they're the cops. Da, 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 da. Cops come up. They say, where are you headed? Okay, well, we'll, clear the way so that you can get there. And then when they got there to camp for the night, the mayor came and talked to them.
All right.
That's the difference between corporate money. Because, and their opponent is Chevron, the biggest corporation in this state. But they had Greens and Democrats, actually independents, running together, pledging to take no corporate money. And my favorite example in Richmond was in the year 2010, where Chevron put $1 million into 3 races, lost, and lost. And so it is possible. Now, okay, so I've talked about money, I've talked about corporations, and if you, I have a leaflet that a bunch of you may have gotten, but if Kit's right over there, he's raising his hand, sir, by the crowd. There's some, if you didn't get a leaflet, please pick it up. It has my contact information as well as it has information about a public bank with a little picture of Ellen Brown, so at least you can see her. I'll go visit her tomorrow and send your love. And it looks like that. And the other side has the No Corporate Money campaign. Now I'm going to talk about women.
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so first I feel the need to say I love men.
I don't.
And men are wonderful, and they're brilliant, and they're wise, and they're hardworking, and all of that stuff. But so are women. And the change that the poems, the poets, when they read their poems, were talking about the change that we need, And part of what we need to do is just give it up with the corporations. And part of it we also need is we need women, empowered women. We need women running for office. We need women winning in office. We're at like the 20%. It's just sickening that is still happening. And when really big change happens in a country, it's because the women are empowered. Now, sometimes we've all had the thought of, why aren't the women coming forward? Why are they pulling back? Where are the women? Why don't the women run? Why don't they? Well, let me tell you what I think. Women need more support and encouragement to run and to do things.
Yes.
We need more support and more encouragement
Yep.
than you ever believe that we need. We need. Even those of us that are outspoken and that won't shut up even if you try. And we need less criticism.
Thank you.
Whereas what we're getting, rather than more encouragement and more support, and less criticism, because we're trained to be more sensitive and be able to cry, which is a good thing. But, we get more criticism and less support. And so what we need to do, and each one of us can do this, we can step forward, we can support, we can, whatever. Tell a woman something she's done that's wonderful. Encourage her to run. Encourage her to take that next step. Encourage her to speak. All of those things. When the women are really empowered, that's when change will happen. And I thank you. Oh, wait. I'm not. No, I didn't say thank you very much. I want to say something. I want to say that I am thrilled that Luis Rodriguez is running for governor. I'll tell you, what just happened is I just gave myself chills when I said that on this used to be 90-degree day, 99. But I am thrilled because he knows how to reach for young people, to Latinos, and I'm sure women too. And so with that, I want to say thank you very much.